What's good, those posers? Level up on crypto here. Today I want to go over a section of the ecosystem map, the Pulsedoge ecosystem map. It's a map, a visual map posted by Turn Crypto in the Pulsedoge Telegram. Big shout out to him. He's doing a lot for the community. But I want to go over a section because I foresee this being confusing. I foresee a lot of people asking questions about this, and I don't want y'all. I want there to be a lot of understanding. So that's why I want to go over this, especially with the early end stakes. And I want to go over that. So the eco staking we know that it's the first zero inflation staking. And what that means is a lot of y'all that have been in DeFi, y'all get into these farms and y'all stake your whatever coin it is, right? And you get paid in a reward. Well, mostly everybody, all these other platforms, they're paying you in an inflationary reward. And it's kind of looked at as if you're in a government currency, like in the United States, they keep printing off stimulus, or just when they want to pay somebody, they just go to the money printer, just print out and pay. And if you do that all the time and you saturate the market with inflated currency, it's not going to have value in the future. So this Pulsedoge is having a DeFi platform called Echo Staking that's going to give you a yield in a coin that is not being inflated, not being minted. So we know that. And then under that, he has the future is yield without inflation. I do agree. I agree with that. I think a lot of other platforms are going to be, adopting this philosophy. You can call it copying off of it or whatever, but a lot of people are going to see how successful Pulsedoge is, and they're going to be like, let's try to do something to the same thing. That's what we get in crypto. People have people make a new trend catches when, and then people just start, and you've seen that with like Pancake Swap, people just start, or Uniswap, right? They'll just start copying off the same template over and over again until, something new happens again. But that's what I see. The future is yield without inflation. So people say, well, hey, okay, how can they do this? Where does the yield come from? The yield comes from whales. Whales pay you to stake. So roughly around 25% of the supply in the yield is being paid out to people was donated, to 25% of the total supply was donated by, most likely people that were successful in Hex or just successful in crypto, right? People that have deep pockets came together and donated into the reward pool. That's where this is how they can afford to give you reward, right? And it's not going to be forever, right? But the pot will run out, right? But it's estimated. I'll go over the estimation of how long this could last. Every 369 days, year maximum of 36.9 million tokens can be claimed from the contract. So there'll be a cycle. Each cycle will last 369 days, and the max tokens paid out to everybody everybody that participates in echo staking will be 36.9 million tokens. And then the next cycle is going to start. And then, it'll be 36.9 for that cycle. And then the next cycle will start, right? So estimated the contract can run a minimum of 5 years and longer with early in staking penalties recycled. And we'll go over that. That means, if there's a lot of people that are early in staking, a percentage of what they're forfeiting, the penalty of them ending their stake, not keeping their promise early, gets recycled back into the contract. That's what can make the contract last longer, right? Because there's going to be people that have emergencies that happen. Who knows? They're going to early in stake. Now they're going to forfeit a percentage of what they're forfeiting is going to be put into recycle back. And then there'll be a percentage that will be just burnt up. And that's crazy. That's another burnt to Mendel. Okay. So the stake, you can stake for 1 day up to 369 days. Longer is better. There'll be a fixed ROI for the whole stake period. The max ROI is 36.9%. To get that ROI, you need to lock your stake up for 369 days. Other stakers' actions do not affect your yield. It is locked for the stake. The yield paid to fully matured stake. So only yield, if you want to receive yield is only paid to fully matured stakes. People that have kept their promise, kept their word with the amount of time they wanted to stake. I want y'all to understand that, because I foresee later down the road, there's going to be people that are ending their stakes early and they're not going to understand why they forfeited, their yield. They're going to be like, oh, well, I should get some because I staked for this long. No, you're going to, if you all early, it's going to come up later in here, but all early in stakes will forfeit their yield. I didn't say principal, I said yield. Okay. So yield paid to fully mature stakes. Okay. A bonus reward, 50% of your ROI paid as ex Pulsedoge at the beginning of stake can be used for daily NFT raffle. No monetary value. Ex Pulsedoge will have no monetary value. Okay. So even if someone early in staked, everybody's going to receive a 50% of what their ROI is in ex Pulsedoge tokens that have no monetary value that they can use to participate in the NFT raffle, right? So that's the only thing that people will receive, even if they early in stake, they'll at least get some ex Pulsedoge to play around in this NFT raffle. Win an NFT, shoot, who knows? The NFT can sell for 100,000. You know what I'm saying? They're very rare. So early in stake penalty served days matter. So here we go on the map. At the beginning of the stake, early in stake penalties on principal is 100%. Keep that in mind, guys. I'm going to be saying this in future videos. If you early in stake at the beginning, you are forfeiting 100% of your principal. Just know that at the beginning of the stake, early in stake penalties on principal is 100% and will gradually decrease to 0% when 50% of stake length has been served. Now, the gradually, I don't know, that's not really specified here. It just, y'all need to keep in mind, you shouldn't end your stake. If you're going to end your stake, at least end it at 50% of the time served, right? So if you stake for 200 days, I'm looking at this as I'm not trying to end none of my stakes early, but if you do, to save your principal, you need to serve at least half. It's saying it's no way around that, and will gradually decrease to 0% when 50% of the stake length has been served. So over 50% stake length served principal can be pulled out fully. So if you serve 50%, if you stake for 50 days, you got to serve 25 days, right? Half of whatever you staked for, you have to serve half of that to get your principal back. Say I lock 5,000 Pulsedoge in a staking contract for 100 days. If I want to get the 5,000 back, what do I have to do? I have to serve it if I lock it up for 100 days, I need to serve at least 50 days. If I lock it up for, 300 days, I got to serve at least 150 days to get my principal back. Y'all don't want to be in a situation where y'all are whining or, y'all are mad because you early in staked it 20%. You staked for 100 days and then you're like 20 days later, you're like, oh, I want my principal back. Something came up in my family. You're going to lose your principal, right? I don't know what percentage it gradually decreases down to 0%, but if you I'm locking it in my mind. I would, encourage people not to end their stake, at least do 50%. I would encourage you not to even, early in-stake or set up a ladder so it prevents you from early in-staking, right? So where are we at? Over 50% stake length served principal can be pulled out. So when you serve over 50%, you can pull out your principal, right? But you're going to lose your yield. Early in-stake penalty on reward is always 100%. So when you early in-stake, no matter what, you're losing your yield. The only thing you're going to get is X Pulsedoge in the beginning to play around in the NFT side of it, right? So if you early in-stake, you are losing your opportunity to receive any yield. The only yield you're going to get is the X Pulsedoge. Keep that in mind, y'all. When this stuff launches, y'all need to be educated and understand what's going on. You know, I would hate for y'all to be disappointed when you playing around in this space. Understand how this game is played. Before you play a game, you want to understand the rules. So early in-stake penalties on rewards is always, not sometimes, not, you know, it's an absolute. It's always 100%, bro. So if you early in-stake, you are going to lose your reward, your yield, right? And only fully mature stakes get rewarded. That goes along. Only if you keep your promise. Only people who keep their promise to their stake length get yield. Early in stakes will remove the ROI, right? 50. So if you early in stake, right, that amount that you're forfeiting, right? 50% of the early in-stake penalties are recycled back into the contract that the well started, right? That was donated. It's back into the pool. And then 50% of those penalties will be burned. Penalties will burn Pulsedoge, burn the minerals, ! The best UI. So echo staking, the best UI of all of crypto. Yes. So, hey, this is bullish because it's echo staking. Echo staking is going to be providing a way for people to keep their promise to earn yield, but also people that renege on their promise and early in-stake will be providing fuel to burn more Pulsedoge, right? And to provide recycle Pulsedoge into the pool that pays out everybody else. So it's just bullish for people that play the system how it's supposed to be played. That's it, guys. Peace.